Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're all doing great. This update is one of those maintenance and stability focused releases that doesn't bring a ton of flashy new content in, but instead aims to patch a few annoying issues that could interrupt your progress or break missions. And that kind of polish really matters when you're juggling long hauls, complicated loading sequences, and co-op sessions with friends. According to the official notes, the patch is tied to the Season 17 rollout and includes targeted fixes for progression and save behavior, several loading and duplication bugs that could spawn trucks where they shouldn't be, a handful of manual loading zone problems in the New Zerdania region that could trap cargo or cause disappearing objects, and a fix for an error that could cause some older community maps to fail to load. So if you've been seeing broken saves or odd map load errors, this one was aimed squarely at that. Let me break down the most impactful bits in a way that you can use right away. First up, there was a progression and save issue where rapidly using the splash screen flow, basically hitting enter and continuing very quickly, could lead to a recent save failing or autosave stopping altogether. And that one was a real headache because losing recent progress in a long expedition is the worst. The patch specifically addresses that by changing how that splash screen continue flow interacts with the save routines, so autosaves are more reliable and you're less likely to lose the last few minutes of work when you boot back in. For anyone who keeps multiple vehicles in rotation or who switches between co-op and single player, that stability change alone will save a lot of frustration. Next, there was a truck duplication bug that could manifest in weird ways. Trucks appearing duplicated in garage slots, suddenly showing up on the map after using a gateway, or even being left sitting on the ground when you return to the garage via the minimap. That kind of duplication can clutter your garage UI, confuse vehicle counts for contracts, and generally make organizing your fleet a pain. The patch removes the root cause, so trucks shouldn't spontaneously duplicate in those scenarios anymore, which is especially nice if you rotate a few signature rigs and don't want phantom copies messing up your saves or co-op sessions. A big chunk of the fixes centers on the Zerdania region's manual loading zones. If you've been running Season 17 content and noticed that cargo would get stuck in places like the railway station warehouse or the food platform, or that spawning a freezer cargo in the food processing plant caused objects to vanish or even crash the game, those annoyances have been targeted in this patch. The manual loading logic has been hardened, so cargo spawns and unloads behave properly, objects won't disappear when they shouldn't, and some of the crash paths tied to those load sequences were closed. For people who love perfecting delivery runs and chain loading complex cargoes, this improves reliability and reduces the number of replay because it bugged out moments. The update also improves compatibility for older mod maps by fixing a fail load level error that used to pop up when attempting to load some community-made maps. That one is a small but meaningful quality of life fix for players who enjoy playing modder-made content. Older maps that had quirks in their format or assets should now load without that immediate failure state, so you can keep exploring community creations without having to hunt for a workaround or a patched version of the map. It's a nice nod to the community and to the amount of content that exists beyond the official DLCs. There are also a number of smaller but important fixes across attachment compatibility, trailer interactions, add-on conflicts, and some UI localization issues reported in the broader patch notes. These include corrections to how certain add-ons interact with specific trucks, for fixes for trailers not connecting correctly in co-op in edge cases, and adjustments to display names or prices in the garage. So what you see matches what's actually in the game. Those are the kind of fixes that don't necessarily make headlines, but reduce head-scratching moments the next time you customize a loadout or negotiate a tricky trailer hookup. The community posts and mirrored patch logs list out a sizable number of those tuning and fix items if you want the nitty-gritty. From a player experience standpoint, what matters most is fewer interrupted runs, more predictable loading behavior, and cleaner co-op sessions. If you've experienced lost progress, duplicated trucks, or cargo that wouldn't unload, those problems were common enough that they made this release a priority. On the flip side, because this update focuses on fixes rather than new trucks or maps, you won't find new content items in this particular build beyond what Season 17 introduced previously. Instead, you'll find the game feeling a touch more dependable when you're running long missions or switching vehicles. The developer communications and announcements frame this release around stability improvements, which matches what players have been reporting. If you're planning to hop in right away, the patch rollout details were posted across the official channels. So check your platform's update screen to see if the build has downloaded and been applied.